What up, peeps? Mr.Bones back at you, and it's day 25 of 31 nights of full moon. And what we're on today is the rest of the Killjoys, starting at number 3. A group of unsuspecting college students accidentally opened the portal to Killjoy's demon realm. Now trapped in a strange funhouse world with Killjoy and his trio of clown friends, Punchy, Freak Show, and Batty Boop, they must team up to survive his diabolical trials and end Killjoy's reign of terror once and for all. Part 3 is the first one where it starts to look like they've got more of a budget, and quite frankly, seems like from here on out is the first one that has the most horror elements. It looks the coolest to me, well, out of these three. Like he's a demonic clown from hell, and stuff with this guy here who is trying to summon Killjoy for some reason. He's in like a cave with a monk and summons him, and then Killjoy takes it upon himself to grab the special little wand or whatever it is they have out of a cauldron and conjures up himself a posse. New people, new characters. Batty Boop, you can see her there. And yeah, they don't have pictures on the back of the other ones, but you have Punchy, who's a big old fat clown in a suit that wears these big ass gloves. And Freak Show is a skinny mime that has like a joint twin on his side. Pretty cool characters. I like Batty Boop. She talks like Harley Quinn. And like I said, this is the one that has the most horror elements to me. Is this dude is conjuring him up, and then he runs off. And I guess Killjoy was planning on killing him. He needed to have a sacrifice to be able to stay, but that guy ran off, so then they just disappear. Then you flash forward, and you got these kids that are like house sitting for the professor, and one of them goes to check for the newspaper, and there's a mysterious like package. It's a mirror wrapped in like a cloth, and they hang it up, and they're like, it's probably for the professor. Turns out to be a magic evil mirror that if they get near it and touch it, they get pulled into Killjoy's world. But at the same time, they're still laying there on the ground. Like they pull in this one kid named Freezilla, like he's the size of he's a football player, like he's the size of a fridge, and then Zilla, like Godzilla. He gets pulled in there, and he's fighting Punchy with boxing gloves, just the shit kicked out of him. At the same time, he's still in the house, laying there like, and it kind of very much reminds me of like Nightmare on Elm Street, when Freddy gets a hold of you. And yeah, it's a pretty cool movie. Well, this chick, she figures out, as all of her friends are getting killed, to laugh at him because he's a clown. You're supposed to clown, but not really, because he's an evil clown and he doesn't like being laughed at. So that's how she figures out how to escape him. Toward the end, she starts laughing at him, and he's holding his ears and shit, and then she's able to go and jump back through the mirror. And I bring that up because that continues over into the next sequel, which is Killjoy Goes to Hell. It says Killjoy is back in the 4th installment of the Demonic Clown series. This time Killjoy is being accused of not being evil since he let one of his victims, Sandy, get away. Killjoy must rely on his only chance of proving how evil he really is by getting Sandy into hell as his witness. I enjoyed this one. He gets called back to hell and goes on trial, like court in hell. And the judge is Beelzebub, the devil. He looked like a human with these horns and long white hair. And where were you and what did you do and such and such. And every time they don't like an answer, I guess he's a man of 1,000 names or something besides Killjoy. It's like Loki and all kinds of other crazy names. And each time they don't like one of his answers, they mark off some of his names, which makes him weaker. And his best bet is to get witnesses, which he conjures back up his posse, but Punchy doesn't talk except for in Ebonics. He's like, where were you, or where was Killjoy, whatever, and he's like, I was with his just kills or something, and it's pretty much, it's like Snoop Dogg Ebonics. It's like, I was with Killjoy such and such, but they don't understand what the fuck he's saying. And Freak Show doesn't talk, he's a mime. And they said his brother could talk for him, which was like a little baby body on the side, but it got killed in the first one during a fight. Got salt thrown on it and got destroyed. And Batty Boop is pissed off at him because she doesn't want to help. But eventually he talks her into helping, and she goes through the mirror and gets Sandy, who's in an insane asylum and has been laughing like all of her fucking life, been laughing non-stop since the last movie to keep Killjoy away. But they do get her there, and they eventually get her to help convince Beelzebub that he's evil, and they escape hell. And the funny part is they escape hell, and then he still wants to kill Sandy, and then one of my favorite funny parts is when Punchy says, "Risen, bitch, risen," which is "run, bitch, run" in Ebonics. And she's like, "What did he say?" And Freak Show decides to start talking and says, "Run, bitch, run." And it goes off with them chasing her, and it's pretty interesting, fun watch. And then you got Killjoy's Psycho Circus. From the poster and the trailer, it looks pretty good. In the trailer, you've got spaceships going at each other, shooting lasers and machine guns, Beelzebub versus Killjoy, but once you watch it, it's not all that shit. Killjoy, the demon of vengeance, trickster god, and killer clown, has finally made it to Earth, along with his gruesome crew, Freak Show, Punchy, and sexually psychotic Batty Boop. Killjoy is free to terrorize mortals in new and excruciating ways, but 2 years down the road, Killjoy discovers that life on Earth is filled with inconveniences such as eating, breathing, taxes, and immigration issues. His crew has left for other jobs, and Batty Boop has gone her own way after a bitter lover's quarrel. Not to mention that Killjoy is now semi-mortal. Meanwhile, back in hell, Beelzebub is on trial for letting Killjoy escape. The only way that Beelzebub can redeem himself is to trap Killjoy's spirit and bring it back in a box. Yeah. And Killjoy Psycho Circus is just a name of a late night talk show he has, which is really fucking strange and cheesy. He's like Larry King Live, sitting there at a desk and cracking jokes and interviewing people and acting goofy. Batty Boop ends up coming back and then gets kidnapped by Beelzebub, so then he has to go fight him and get her back, and it's a pretty goofy movie, but it is enjoyable. But like I said, out of all of them, I think the most enjoyable one is part 3. And then Goes to Hell is kind of entertaining. I like it. And 4 is batshit crazy, over the top, slapstick, goofy. There's this one scene where they're both like part mortal, part human now. So Batty Boop is horny, and so she's ovulating and wants to have sex. And Killjoy's never had human sex. He didn't know what that is, so he goes and gets a porn to watch. And there's a scene where a girl's shoving a dildo in the dude's mouth and all this goofy shit. And yeah, we'll end it on that note. That's what I watched. It's a decent character. 3 and 4 are my favorites. Yeah, that's what I watched. Peace.